Hello. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get myself comfy, 1 second. Feels like it's been the longest time since I've just sat down and done a proper makeup tutorial here on my channel, so I thought we would do that today. I'm really like in the mood to just sit down and do like a nice glam look. I've actually been wanting to film this since I came across this picture of Bella Hadid. So as you can tell from the title, I'm gonna be recreating a Bella Hadid makeup and hair look, which I'm so excited about. She's literally beautiful. So I'll insert a picture of the look that I'm recreating here. Is basically a really soft glam with really dewy skin, which I am all about. And I feel like this hair is just everywhere at the minute, or maybe not so anymore, but definitely like a month or a couple of months ago, this hair was everywhere with like the high pony and the like side fringe. I've actually never tried this hairstyle on myself, so I thought I would give it a go today to see what it looks like and see how well we can recreate this look. I'm gonna get started anyway, so as always I'm gonna do brows and eyes first. So in terms of the brows, I feel like Bella always has a really natural brow. Her brows are quite thin, so I'm gonna try and do mine as thin as possible and try and keep them like as fluffy as possible as well. I feel like her tail does come higher as well, which is how I tend to draw my tail anyway, so I'm also gonna replicate that. Obviously I do conceal my microblading underneath, which I need to get removed desperately at some point, but that is gonna have to wait until after lockdown. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the best that I can, and I'm gonna be using the Urban Decay Brow Beater. Brows are on. I really like doing brows like this as well because it kind of just instantly gives your eyes like a natural lift. So I'm gonna leave them there for now and then put brow gel on later just to make them look nice and fluffy. Okay, in terms of eyes, she's got kind of like a brown smoky eye with like a black smoky liner, and it does look like there's a little bit of like maybe highlighter on the brow bone as well. So I'm gonna try and use as many like more neutral tones as I can because it doesn't look too warm either. So I've got Red Earth by Anastasia Beverly Hills and Burnt Orange. So I'm probably going to use those mostly for this eye, and then probably the darker brown as well, which is Fudge. I'm going to start with a little bit of Burnt Orange just in the crease. I'm not going to use too much of this though, just because it is quite warm, and her eyeshadow is kind of like more of a neutral tone, I would say. Like it's not really very like orange or red, so I'm just going to kind of use this just to create like a base for the darker shadows to blend out. It is kind of like a cat shape as well because she has that like black smoky liner, so we are going to be like dragging the shadow up this way. Now that that is down, I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm taking a Morphe M514, and we're going to use that like Red Earth shade from Anastasia, which is more of like a cool tone brown. I'm going to just kind of like trace where we've gone, but just use really like light streaks, if that makes sense. I don't want to go overboard with this too quickly. So okay, and then you want to start winging it out a little bit, so we're just going to trace again up here. Okay, and then we're just going to do the same on the other side. So I'm kind of starting with like the brush in the middle just so that we get like a nice amount of pigmentation in the crease, and then with the excess I'm doing the inner and the outer. And then I'm actually just going to use like the excess shadow just to go on the lid because it's not really clear like if she has anything on the lids. I don't think it's anything shimmery, but it kind of just looks like a similar tone to the crease, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit to the lid. Okay, I'm gonna do the liner next. So it kind of looks like a black smoky liner. There's definitely black on the lash line and a bit of a black wing, but it kind of looks like it's blended into the shadow. So I'm gonna use the Sigma Wicked Gel Liner just to create the line and the like darkness, and then I'm probably gonna blend it out with the darker shades in the palette just to keep like the earthy brown tones as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna take an angle brush and some of the brown shade, the darker brown, and I'm gonna start just like going over that and blending it into the lid. So I'm gonna start by kind of just like pressing against the liner because that'll just help to like naturally make it look more smudged. Okay, I want to build the crease up a little bit more because I feel like the liner is quite harsh compared to what hers is. So I'm gonna mix Red Earth and the slightly darker brown, and we're kind of just gonna go all in the crease. So I'm kind of just wiggling in the crease and then also down towards the liner You can see already it just looks a little bit more like smudged out. Now that that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and do lashes. I can't really tell if she's got any lashes on at all. I feel like she might have individual lashes on. I'm just gonna use some sort of like fluffy lash. This is just Rodeo Drive by Backstage Beauty. Okay, so I've put the lashes on and I now regret putting the lashes on. So I was basically putting them on, and when I did the first one, I just knew they were too heavy for what she's got on. I mean, she might not even have lashes on. I'm pretty sure she has individuals, but her lashes are really natural and these are like way too heavy. But then once I put one on, I couldn't take it off because it would strip all the liner. So I've just gone ahead and put both on, and I'm gonna leave it for now. We're gonna see how it turns out in the end. If I really don't like it, then I'll take them off. But for now, I'm stuck with them. I'm sorry they look a bit heavy, but it is what it is. I'm gonna moisturize with my Ulla Henriksen, what is this? Sea Rush Brightening Cream. Primer wise, I'm just gonna use my Laura Mercier, basically because it is all I have here. And to be honest, she has a really like glowy, dewy skin anyway, so I would use like a hydrating primer either way. Okay, so I'm gonna do concealer and cream bronzer first. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of Too Faced in the shade Almond, just under the eyes. And then I'm only gonna use like a really small amount of cream bronzer because, to be honest, it doesn't really look like she's got any sort of like contour or like heavy bronzer on. So I'm just gonna do it as natural as I can. I don't know why it's gone so cloudy recently. I swear we had like such a nice run of having really sunny weather, and now it's just like cloudy all the time, and it actually makes me want to cry. I don't know if it's just me, like is anyone else like this, but I actually feel like when it's cloudy outside, I tend to feel a lot more like sad and unproductive and stuff. And when it's sunny, like I'm more in the mood to like, I don't know, get stuff done, and I feel more positive and stuff. It's so weird how like weather has that effect. I mean, I'm definitely living in the wrong country for it because, let's be honest, it's always cloudy and rainy here, so great. I'm honestly so glad that I filmed my TikTok video because I feel like there's so many things that I learned from it that I actually really like. Like, I thought the whole thing was just gonna go to shit, but it actually turned out quite cute, and now I literally do most of the stuff on a daily basis anyway. Okay, and then foundation wise, I'm going to use my Beauty Blender foundation. So this is in the shade 3.35. So I'm going to use a little bit of this, and I'm also going to add a little bit of oil to it just so that it really sheers out, because I feel like her base is just so natural. Like, I don't want to overdo it with anything. So I'm going to use a little bit of Anastasia hydrating oil. So I'm kind of just going to mix it on like the back of the thing. I really like that it has this because it is just like its own little palette. And then foundation brush, I'm gonna use my Luxie angled brush as always. Just kind of like really like shearing it out. Like, I'm barely even putting any product on the skin. I feel like we've done enough foundation wise, so I've just done like a really light layer. This is like the most amount of time I've taken to do my makeup in so long. Like, I usually just slap it on at this point and just like hope for the best. Okay, a little bit of Laura Mercier powder just to set the under eye, because her under eye looks smooth. And then I'm also gonna set like the center of the forehead as well, because again, like, her skin just looks so smooth all over. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of bronzer to the outer part of my face, but just like a really small amount. So I'm gonna use Hourglass. This is the shade Radiant Bronze Light. This bronzer shears out really well, so I know it's not gonna go like too heavy or too overboard. Just gonna use a small amount just because we're tying our hair up as well. Like, you have to be really careful around the hairline. Like, you don't wanna get too much product in your hair or in the hairline, because we are obviously like tying it up. I'm gonna highlight a tiny bit. I'm not gonna do tons just because she's got a really subtle like highlight on the go. So just using a little bit of Kylie Santorini. Definitely got highlight on her cheekbones and like around the brow. I would say it's kind of like just everywhere. It's like above and below the brow. I am going to contour my nose as well, just because her nose always looks really like structured. So I'm just using a little bit of Too Faced, and I'm going to start on the sides, and then I always do underneath, and I'm going to do that today as well just because she has got more of like a button nose. And then for under eye, she's not really got a lot going on. It looks like a really light wash of like a warmer brown. So I'm going to use burnt orange, which is what we used in the crease. And it looks like she's got like a little bit of a brown liner on as well. So I'm just going to blend this first and then maybe apply like a warm brown. Kind of like wraps around towards the other side as well. So I'm just going to like add a little bit of like shadow here. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my like powder brush and I'm just gonna like soften that because I don't want it to be too heavy. It's definitely like a really light wash on her. Okay, and then pencil wise, I've got the Marc Jacobs liner in the shade Brownie. That's so cute. So I'm gonna kind of just like add this like kind of on the lash line almost, or just like in the lashes a little bit. Okay, to finish off the skin, I am going to do a little bit of blush because I feel like her skin just looks a little bit like peachy, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to use a little bit of Kylie and just kind of like apply this kind of everywhere, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to do like a light wash of it like all over because her skin just looks really like fresh and luminous and pretty. So I kind of just want to add a little bit of life to my skin. Okay, last but not least, we have lips. So I feel like her lip liner looks a little bit more neutral to cool toned, and then the center of the lip is a little bit more of like a peachy shade. So I'm gonna mix Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude and the Smashbox lipstick in the shade Famous. I'm gonna overdraw them slightly and I'm gonna try and like replicate her Cupid's bow a little bit, just because she does have a really defined Cupid's bow. It's quite like angled, so I'm going to try and do that as well. Okay, on to hair. So I'm going to straighten it and kind of hopefully like flick it at the ends. I've just like split my hair into two sections because that's usually how I would straighten it anyway. So I'm going to straighten it all first, and then once it's straight I'm going to do the flick. I've already like parted my hair. I mean, you can tell anyway from the start of this video, but I've already like parted my hair where the fringe will go. So I'm thinking maybe like that much of a fringe. I mean, my fringe is too long. I'm gonna have to like pin it probably. Bobble is in. I'm gonna have to start hairspraying because my hair is like so frizzy right now. Okay, so I'm gonna have to wrap like a little bit around. Okay, I've just been like playing around with this because I feel like some of my hair is like too short for the ponytail. So I've just used a little bit of Way finishing cream just to kind of like flatten like this part down because those like little spiky bits. Also, I just can't seem to get my hair to flick. Like, it's so annoying, it just won't do it. I could have done with like a ponytail to put in really, but I've not got one here with me. So yeah, I've kind of just had to make do with it being like this instead. I don't really know how I feel about this hair on me. Like, I feel like on most people it looks so good, but I just don't know if I suit it. But yeah, this is pretty much the finished look anyway. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually had a lot of fun creating it because it's not really a look that I would usually do on myself. Like, I wouldn't usually do such like a heavy eye. Not that it's like super heavy. I mean, it looks more natural on Bella because she's not got a lash on and I've put a lash on, so I've made it heavy myself. But yeah, I wouldn't usually do such like a neutral brown smoky eye and this type of hair, so I've actually had a lot of fun doing this. I really hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let me know what other videos you would like to see coming up because I would love to know. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. I love you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next one.